Okay, so welcome to the Be Your Change podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today we're going to be talking about hypertrophy training. So there's 3 different types of trainings that you can do. There's hypertrophy, which is high rep, low rest. There's strength training, which is low rep, low set, high rest periods. And then there's power, which is like minimal sets, probably like 1 or 2. And then really long rest periods of like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your body. But today we're just going to be talking about hypertrophy because hypertrophy is more of a universal training type, and that's what most people want to focus on for that training session. So what is hypertrophy? Hypertrophy training basically means that you're going to be keeping your heart rate elevated until it flattens out at whatever heart rate you work out at. And then you're going to be doing high reps and low rest. So hypertrophy training is really popular because you're able to get a very good workout in, succeed a very nice pump. You're able to lose weight and gain muscle at the same time. The benefits of hypertrophy training on the muscles is that it creates muscular endurance. You also keep an elevated heart rate with the low rest times. Depending on what type of trainer, or not trainer, but what type of lifter you are, whether you're a beginning trainer or lifter or advanced, will determine what type of hypertrophy training you're able to do. So let's talk about beginning training or beginner training. Novice trainers, people that have just gotten in the gym. This is the type of workout and type of training style that you want to do. So if you're a beginner, right, and you don't really know too much about your body just yet, in a sense that like you don't know your limits, you don't know what kind of weight you can do, you don't know what type of rest period is good for you, what type of recovery your body's able to recover, depending on what type of stress and fatigue that you put your body into. When it comes to working out, it's broken down into science. There's a lot of things that come into play. There's the mental aspect of things, your physicality, your muscular endurance, your overall shape, and overall health for training. For beginners hypertrophy training, the rep range that I used to do that worked out for me when I was a beginner was 3 to 10. Why does 3 to 10 work? 3 to 10 works because you are able to feel the workout, but not overexert your body to where you're unable to finish your workout. Because if you're a beginner and you don't really know what your muscular endurance is, you can get fatigued and burned out very quickly at the beginning of your workout to where you just don't even want to finish it because you're tired. So for beginners, you want to do 3 to 10 sets, or 3 sets of 10 with a rest period of 30 to 45 seconds. That is to enhance weight loss and keep your heart rate elevated and keep it at an elevated state. Being able to just do these sets back to back to back will keep your body in a state of kind of like muscular shock because you're not actually giving yourself enough time to recover. For advanced lifters, and when I mean advanced, like you've been lifting for more than, 3 to 5 years, and then your muscular endurance grows, so then you're able to throw in an extra set and then add more reps. So for me right now, I do 4 sets of 8 to 15, depending on what I'm doing. when it comes to determining what you can actually do for those sets, determines what exercise you're actually doing. So if you're doing a compound lift and you're trying to do a hypertrophy set, it's a little bit hard to reach those rep ranges with that amount of sets. So for hypertrophy, when you're just starting off lifting, and even for advanced lifters, I highly recommend including what's called a working set, a warm-up set. So say you come into the gym, right, and you're set on doing 3 to 10, or you want to do 4 sets of 12 to 15, right? You don't just jump right into it, right? We've talked about before, stretching and warming up your body will prevent injuries. So what is a warming set, a warm-up set? Warm-up set is just sets. Doesn't matter how many reps you do. You want to do high reps, but it just allows blood to flow to the body part that you're working out. And it allows your joints to get accustomed to the workout that you're going to do. For me, I've always found that 2 warm-up sets before your actual set, or your what's called a working set, helps get my body accustomed to what I'm actually going to do. So when you're doing these warm-up sets, what you want to focus on is you want to focus on targeting the muscle, building that mind-muscle connection, actually feeling the movement and getting comfortable with the movement that you're doing. It doesn't matter what movement you're doing, whether it's deadlifts, benching, squats, or even if you're doing like shoulder presses, because those can be considered a compound movement, or any type of rowing, any stuff like that. That's when I would incorporate a warm-up set. But keep in mind, you only want to do a warm-up set at the beginning of your work. After you do those warming sets, then you go into your working set with your 4 to 12, 3 to 10 sets, where you add more weight to the bar, or add more weight to the dumbbells, or machine, whatever isolation movement you're doing. I would not do warm-up sets for every exercise, because you want to be able to maximize your energy for whatever you're doing in the gym. So now that we talked about that, let's talk about some of the stereotypes for hypertrophy training and what used to be considered good, which is not considered good now. So we talked about it before. The optimal rest time for back then, for what we thought hypertrophy training would do, was 30 seconds to 45 seconds, maybe a minute, right, for optimal muscle growth. But there was a study in 2016 done by Dr. Field, I hope I don't butcher that, stating that longer rest periods of 3 minutes was documented to enhance muscle growth compared to 1 minute short period. And those are for long and for long rests, 3 minutes, short rest, 1 minute. So in this study, I kind of just like read a little bit of it. I didn't go into a deep dive about it, but I kind of read just things. It really just depends on what type of lifter you are and how adaptive your body becomes to these type of stress and filled environments, right? For me, when I first started off, I would try to stick with the 30 to 45 seconds, and I noticed that my body would get very tired. I would get very fatigued, like within 30 minutes of my workout, and then the last 30 minutes was just a grind. Like I didn't have a lot of energy to do anything, didn't want to do anything. It was just really, really hard for me to work out. The older I get, the more I started to find a nice little like in-between time range, which for me was about 1 minute to 2 minutes for me to do these hypertrophy sets. What this study has shown is that longer rest periods help will help with recovery and help with longevity with that session. What this study also talks about is that the importance of breathing. So what I mean by breathing is when it comes to lifting, you need to be able to breathe properly because you want to get adequate oxygen to your muscles and in your bloodstream so that you're able to recover quicker and then be able to still perform optimally throughout the whole entirety of your workout. Granted, it happens to everybody. Towards the end of your workout, you will be more fatigued, you will be more tired. That just happens. You don't want to be tired at the very beginning of your workout and then just be completely gassed out by the end of your workout. You want to have a good flow of things. You want to have good energy, good workout mindset throughout the whole entire workout that you're doing. For short rest interval trainings, which is HIIT sense, but with workouts or with weights, I just lost my train of thought. You want to do the 30 seconds to 45 seconds. Why? Because you're keeping your heart rate elevated and you're introducing more blood to the muscles. And with a low rest time, you're keeping your heart rate elevated and keeping your body moving, so you're able to burn more calories than if you're longer rested. So what type of hypertrophy training do I do? This is a general breakdown of all my workouts, right? So no matter what body part I'm hitting, I want to do at least 4 sets or 4 types of exercises, and for that body group. So say if I'm hitting chest, I want to do 4 different chest exercises. If I'm hitting back, I want to do 4 different back exercises. Doing arms, I want to do different arm exercises, etc., etc. That is just because I'm I wouldn't say advanced lifter, but I've been lifting for so long that I know my body and I know what I can put my body through. When you're new or you're still trying to figure out like where you can push your body, test it out. Whatever workout you do, if you can do 4 groups or 4 muscles or 4 exercises per muscle group, good. If you cannot do that much, then do 3. Then when it comes to the exercises, then you pick how many sets and how many reps you want to do. Realistically, I do about 12 to 15, depending on how heavy I go and what exercise I'm actually performing. I'll drop it down to 10. The types of hypertrophy training that you can actually do. There's so many things and different variations of hypertrophy training that you can incorporate. You can incorporate a high interval training, or you can incorporate a longer rest period, or just even a short rest period. Me personally, I enjoy long rest periods of at least 1.5 to 2 minutes. But we have to be careful with the longer rest periods because there's lots of people at the gym that sit on their phones, they sit there and they'll do a set, do an exercise, and then take long breaks in between by either just talking around on their phone, not paying attention, zoning out, spacing out. And when you take so long to where you're not actually moving your body, you'll lose what's called a pump. And a pump, you'll feel it. So much blood is rushing to your muscles that feel warm, your body feels good, your joints don't hurt, your tendons don't hurt, stuff like that. Like you'll feel a pump, it's just blood rushing to your muscles. You'll feel it, right? You can lose that feeling by taking so long in between sets. And once you lose that feeling of fullness, of blood rushing to the muscle feels good, you press it, it's really nice and firm. Once you lose it, you cannot get that back. It is really hard to get it back because you just lose all your momentum kind of thing. Once you lose your momentum of things, it's really hard to get it back. It's kind of like motivation, right? You have motivation, And once you lose it, It's really hard to get it back unless you like really, really just focus on getting it back. So I recommend do not take long times in between sets. Really bad habit to have. Get the fuck off your phone. You do not need to be on your phone for more than a minute, if that. If you're changing songs and shit, that's fine. Sending out a text message, whatever. If you're like scrolling through Instagram, you're on Twitter, you're watching TikToks, just stop, you know, like focus on what you're doing. The cool thing about hypertrophy training as well, that the optimal time to be in the gym, 45 minutes to an hour. Hypertrophy training, like we talked about before, there's a certain way you can achieve hypertrophy. Once you're taking longer than an hour and a half, then that's kind of like you're taking way too long in between sets, or you're doing way too many sets per exercise, or you're doing a lot of exercises with minimal sets that you can just bring that down into, you could just break that down. You could, you know, change it, right? Like there's been people that I've talked to at the gym that like, I'll get there. My optimal time of being in the gym is about an hour, hour and a half. Anything after that, then I start getting a little like pissed off of myself and I just want to get the fuck out. I've talked to people that swear by getting a good workout for being in there for 2 hours. It's a lot of time wasted when you could just get in and get out. I've also talked to people. This is just insane. The fact that this even happened is just... I used to have a friend that would go into the gym in the morning, be there for 3 hours, walk across the street to eat lunch, come back for another 2 hours and finish his set, or finish his workout. He was there for fucking 4 to 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. That is just like, you're actually just fucking off and doing anything. So don't do that. For hypertrophy training, you're in there for a reason. Chasing a pump. Once you get that pump, you're in there for muscle growth, weight loss, and keeping your heart rate elevated and growing your muscular endurance. Once you're able to find out what your body is able to push through, you'll start to see that you will get bigger, muscular mass will grow. Also start to feel that you're able to do more sets, more reps than you were a week ago, a month ago, a year. Stick with it. This is a great training. This is a great type of training for everyone. Everyone does it, whether you're a bodybuilder, you are doing sports, you're an athlete, you're just an avid gym goer, just an average gym goer, or you're just later on the years of life and you want to go to the gym, hypertrophy training. We'll do another episode of the difference between strength training and powerlifting. I'm not really a power lifter, but I can kind of talk about like if you want to do powerlifting. Powerlifting, you need to be on a program to really see results. Same thing with strength training. Strength training you can kind of do on your own, but following a program for whatever, even hypertrophy training. I followed hypertrophy training programs, and you will actually see in your mind to it. I wasn't even talking. You will actually see the results when you put your body to it, right? So just concluding on what we talked about. Whatever type of training you do want to do, you need to make sure that they align with your overall goal. If your goal is to build muscle mass, build muscular endurance, meaning you're able to do more sets, more reps, and then add on weight as you go over next couple weeks, next couple months, hypertrophy training is really good for you. If you're trying to promote weight loss, trying to feel better, hypertrophy training is for you. The type of mood that you're in after just getting a really good, solid workout it's an unbeatable feeling. You go into the gym, whether you're having a bad day, you're having a good day, you're just kind of off, you've been having a rough week. These type of workouts can really elevate your mood and make you feel 1,000 times. You know you put your body through hell. You know you broke your body down. You know that there was points in the workout where you wanted to quit, where you said, I don't want to go on anymore. I don't want to do this. And then you push through and you finish. Because at the end of the day, all these workouts mean something, right? Me lifting 15 years ago versus me lifting now, you'll actually start to see it. You'll get bigger. Your appetite will increase, because when you build muscle mass, your muscles need food. So your body will actually start to tell you, hey, I need to eat. Hey, I need to eat. Hey, I need to eat. And your mood will just be overall better. You'll be in more of a happy go-getter mood, or like determined to do shit, stuff like that. Now, when it comes to hypertrophy training for you, you need to figure out which one you like more. If you like more of a HIIT style training where you're doing 30 to 45 second rest periods, 1 minute max, and you can sustain a good workout and you actually like doing those workouts, then do it. If you want to do long rest periods of 1 minute to 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes max, and you like that and it fits in your time constraints to do that, then do that. This is all experimental, right? That's pretty much what the gym is. You experiment, you do things that you think you'd like, and if you like them, you do it. If you don't like them, then don't do it. But keep in mind that you need to switch things up a bit for hypertrophy training, or else your body just gets really used to doing it. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger famously said, you need to shock the muscles. So if you're used to doing short rest periods and you're just going at 100 miles an hour, you want to get in and out, try doing a longer rest period and giving your body more time to rest, focus on your breathing. You'll start to find out, and you'll actually see that when you're able to give a longer rest period, when you're used to short rest periods, your recovery for that muscles will be noticeable. Because if you do short rest periods and you stick to the 3 by 10 or 3 by 12, if you give yourself that extra couple seconds of rest, an extra minute, extra 2 minutes, you will see that you're actually able to do an extra set and more reps. So going from 3 to 10 or 3 to 12, then you'll be able to do 4 to 8 or 10, 4 to 12, stuff like that. Also for long rest period, people, if you're only used to doing long rest periods, switch it up. Do short periods. You will notice that you'll start to sweat more. Your muscles will ache. Your recovery will be different. But that's the beauty in working out. You push your body through all these things. You test yourself. You find out what you can do. Find out what you can't do, right? If you're able to do, let's say you do bench press, right? Because we love talking about bench press on this channel and on this podcast. So say for short rest periods, you can only do 135 for 10. And then your next set, you'll do 135 for 10. And then maybe you do a shorter rest period and like you're a little tired and you'll do 135 for like 8, right? On bench press, flat bench press. Say if you do a longer rest period, you'll do more, right? You're used to long rest periods and then you take it down for like long rest periods. People say like you can do 135 for 15 3 times. For the short rest, you can only do 135 for, say, 10, right? Because you're fatiguing your body. We just went on a really weird rant. Anyways, that's what I got for hypertrophy training. Try it out, do more research on it, and actually incorporate it in your next workout. Talk to you guys later. See you in the next one. Peace.